Good morning from another chilly and freezing cold Bucharest. Today we're taking a walking tour on the communist history and past of this city. This city is one of great contrasts, beautiful architecture, gorgeous buildings, but you know the story behind a lot of those buildings come from a deep and tragic past that was not so far long ago. But the contradictions, the nuances, and the story of communist Romania is one that we're going to explore this morning in this very chilly, very cold day after Christmas here in Bucharest. You looking forward to it?
I am wearing multiple layers today because it was freezing yesterday.
I basically have every sweater I brought with me on right now in order to survive this walking tour. But it should be fascinating, it should be interesting, and glad you're joining us for the ride. We are walking to the Plaza of the Revolution. I'm sure in the tour we will hear about it quite a lot. It's the meeting place for the tour. It is very cold. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but let's walk on over there. Less things are open on the second day of Christmas, or the day after Christmas as I may call it, than they were open on the day of Christmas itself. So on the 25th of Christmas, many things were open. On the 26th of Christmas, the day after, 25th, 26th of December, there's a lot less open. That's not what I'm used to.
Actually, we are here in the Revolution Square. So this is where the revolution happened 36 years ago. As you can see, there's like some flowers and candles here because just a couple of days ago, on 21st of December, they commemorated again the people who kind of died again for the revolution. So this is the monument of rebirth. So I'm gonna let you know about it, but we're actually gonna do like a little loop of the square. So we're gonna start just a bit forward. We're gonna see a statue. So I'm gonna let you know about the beginnings of the communist kind of regime here in Romania. And then we're gonna go and see a very important building. This is where the last leader, Ceaușescu, had the last speech. And then we're gonna come here and talk about this monument itself. Then we're gonna go behind of this building. This was actually the former royal palace. So this is where the king and the queens kind of lived back in the days. Now it's the Museum of Art. But behind of this, you will start seeing the architecture from the communist times. So very square, no personality apartment blocks. So this is what you will see. So the city is a lot of contrast. You'll see maybe some French influences from some kind of brutalistic kind of influences.
I've noticed that in even just the past day or so.
Yeah,
a lot of contrast in the buildings.
It's a lot of contrast between new, old churches that are from 18th, 19th century and so on.
Wow.
Some of them from 1700s. So depending on the period of time of history, we had something else to say. So it's a living city again.
Yeah.
Originally, yeah, from the 16th century kind of onwards, we have some buildings. So after that, we're gonna go to the park I was telling you. So yeah, it's the oldest park we have in the city center. And we're gonna kind of make our ways towards the palace and the parliament. So I'm gonna talk about all the how do you say it, sides of society, like education, transportation, media, health system, and so on in those 42 years of communist regime. Okay, so let's go this direction. So you've been to free walking tours before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know how it works, I believe.
Yes. And this is a private free walking tour apparently, because we're the only ones crazy enough to come out this cold. The day after Christmas. Us and Mara. Yeah, it's actually quite an interesting floor. The floor is like tree, Mara? The floor is like tree?
Yes, I'll let you know if you want me to tell you now.
No, you can keep it to your own.
Well, explain about the monument itself. I'm gonna let you know about the wooden pavement. Okay, so you'll see this man here. It's a statue that was put in 2005, and he was actually the former prime minister of Romania before the communists came in rule.
Oh wow.
So before communists came in rule, again we had monarchy, we had kings and queens, and we usually have a prime minister, like in UK, you know, you have the head of the government, and usually they were picked from the Liberal Party, from the Peasant Party, from the Conservatory Party. So he was the head, the president of the Peasant Party. He was very kind of known back then. What happened, actually Romania entered the war from 1940 to 44 against the Soviet Union along with Germany, and in 1944 we switched the side. We still had a monarch, but in 1944, 23 of August 1944, the Soviet Union army came in the city and they said they liberated us. Okay, so this is when yeah, the tanks came in, and this was the official kind of date of their liberation. And yeah, this was it, 23rd of August 1944.
So you were liberated by the Red Army.
Yeah, by the Red, liberated.
Liberated in here.
By the Red Army. So they came in, and the army actually stayed until 1958. We were still, yeah, we were still until 1947. We were still a monarchy, though. So slowly they started to put their own kind of influence. Here we were part of the Stalin influence kind of zone. But 23rd of August actually became the day, the national day of Romania in the communist times, the liberation day. Okay, so until 1946 we had again a prime minister from the kind of liberal, and then in 1946 we were supposed to have elections to choose the prime minister.
Supposed to?
Yeah, well, we had the representatives for liberal, from peasant, from conservatory, and this time in 1946 we had a representative from the Communist Party. So this was the representative. This name, the name of the guy was called Peter, and Groza was his family name, but everybody called him Groza, which means terror, Peter the Terror. Okay, so this was kind of the nickname. He was just a puppet ruler to Moscow, and he was actually, he had a title like a doctor, which is very unusual because the communists were supposed to be represented by the working class,
right?
Not for the elites,
not by PhDs.
So he had, yeah, the slogan, the Soviet kind of sun, vote for the sun. So therefore they were kind of encouraging especially people that were not very educated from the countryside to go to vote. So this will be kind of one of the kind of magazines. What do you do on 28th of March? This was for women, a magazine for women, because here there's actually a recipe for cooking. And you will see a woman that is dressed with traditional clothes from the countryside. She goes out on the voting day. It's sunny outside. She takes the voting kind of paper, and she's told where the sun is to put the stamp.
Oh wow.
Okay, so again, this was kind of to influence the non-educated, not so much educated people, because they didn't know how to read or write, but everybody knew how the sun looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is again what we're supposed to do. But actually the peasant party voted, the peasant people voted for the peasant party
despite this,
because they knew if the communists came in rule, they will confiscate all their lands.
right?
And this is actually what happened. So
Right.
the uprising was actually happening in the peasant kind of countries, countryside too. But it doesn't matter who goes to vote, it matters who counts the vote. So the communists did a fraud in 1946 and they switched the votes. So that's why in 1946 officially the communists kind of won. Okay, so from then on it was kind of a period of like protest, because the pro-monarchy students went on the streets and they started to protest against the corruption that was made with
the very
voting.
obvious corruption.
But they were arrested and beaten up in the prisons. And soon after, in 1947, in December, the monarch was also forced to abdicate by the communists. They also blackmailed him, saying if he doesn't leave by choice, they will shoot the 1,000 students, pro-monarchy students, in the prison. So he was forced to just kind of, He took his mom and just left with a train. And he was forced to go to exile. He renounced his title, citizenship, everything that
Wow.
he had
Where
here.
did he go?
He went to UK where he had family, then to US, I think like Pennsylvania, and then to Switzerland at the end. He actually returned after communist times ended, after 45 years.
Oh wow.
His name was Michael, and he actually died in 2017.
Recently?
Yeah, recently he was 96 years old.
What a long life.
Yeah, he was the last monarch. So even though he was, how do you say it? He abdicated in the hearts of the people. He was
Still the king.
The king.
Yeah.
He left behind one daughter, Margaret, and she's the head of the royal family now. But it's just a symbolistic royal family.
Right.
They did get back their properties.
Just a few of them.
Yeah, so Brown Castle, for example, it's owned by the descendants of the royal family.
Right.
So the Dracula, famous Dracula
Yeah.
castle. So yes, what happened to the rest of the political class? Majority of them that didn't want to run away from the country at this switch period, they were arrested and put in political prisons.
Wow.
So this happened to this man, and in this political prison, Iuliu Maniu, the former prime minister, he died there in torture. So that's why you find him like surrounding like this. He has a lot of pieces missing from him because he died in torture. Along him, it was estimated from 1945 to 1989 that more than 800,000 people died in this cruel condition from torture, starvation, diseases. They were also making experiments to torture each other. So there's a lot of books of what happened in the society. Everything was again put under the carpet, but after the communist times ended, the ones who survived this torture
Told the stories.
Yeah, these were the political prisons, but also severe working camps. So a lot of people died of exhaustion and of overworking conditions. So also psychological kind of again
Torture.
yeah, torture. So again, this is how Romania's kind of map of prisons kind of look like. So he's actually the representative of the victims that died in the communist kind of prison.
Right.
Together with him, we have this tree. The tree of the branch doesn't have any other branches. It's cut, doesn't have any flowers or leaves. It's just sucked of power. Of life. So this is what the communists did. They just sucked the life and vitality of the society. So you were not allowed to develop and grow like you want. Okay, but yeah, now we are freely able to speak. So that's why now again
It's very
we can
symbolic,
express,
very
we
poignant.
Can express ourselves. So this is the anthem of Iuliu Maniu. Like an anthem. It was published in 1988. That's all the typical art. Residence of the royal family now is the Museum of Art itself. So again, we have monarchy on one side, kind of the communist on the other side. So we can go again into the monument. We can go around.
We came as prepared as we could.
Okay.
This is the most amount of winter clothing we own.
Okay. So you need other ones, maybe.
Yeah.
So this is a monument put in 2005 dedicated to the heroes of the revolution. So more than 1,100 people's names are written here. The ones that died not only in Bucharest but also all over Romania from the 16th of December until the end of the year. Thanks to their lives, the sacrifice they made, I'm able to speak to you freely and you're able to come to visit us. So again, we do have the freedom of speech and freedom of movement now because of that. I was not born when the communist kind of times were. I was born after, so that's why I have a completely different
Perspective,
mindset, perspective again. While my parents were like in their mid-20s, they could have adapted to the society that happened after, and yeah, they are okay with what is happening. When my grandparents' generation, they are nostalgic more and more of the communist times.
What do they miss?
They considered, yeah, it was more a stable environment back then, because the government will give you a job and a house.
Right.
So everybody had a purpose in life. They also say it was more respect in between the people, but also the level of living, it was not like you have the billionaires and the rest of the people. The middle blanket still existed, so that's why it was not such a big difference between being here and being kind of here. So that's why financially speaking, yes, some people say it was better. Even if they starved, they had the money and they had a bit of stability compared to nowadays.
Right.
So a lot of people couldn't switch from socialism, let's say, to capitalism. It was a brutal capitalism, and they lost their jobs and so on, and the government didn't give them anymore. So that's why the nostalgia started to be more.
It's a very hard transition.
Yes.
Very hard.
So yeah, we have three different mindsets.
Perspectives.
Yes.
Yeah, mindsets.
So
yeah.
that's why it's different. You also find, yeah, the students holding hands. So this is the meaning behind that statue. And this is the spike of democracy, and on top is the tumor or the cage of communism. So through hope, the souls of the people went through, and the curse, the cage of communism, and they went to heaven. So this is the meaning behind of it. And on the ground, as you notice, it's a pavement made of like wood. It's actually in the shape of a cross, so we marked right there. And it's made out of trees, and the trees are smaller circle or bigger circle that represent the ages of the people who died. From younger, again, teenagers until kind of older.
Very religious then, no?
Yeah, we are very religious as a nation. More than 80% of us are Christian. We also have Catholic Protestants in Pennsylvania, so we can say that more than 90% of
A fake apartment block used to cover over the street, then connect to apartment blocks. There are no apartments inside there. It is just a fake facade the communists built during the communist era to connect between the two buildings, so people, when they visit, wouldn't think there was nothing there.
It was made before World War II, and it has a couple of symbols. So one of it is this one, rusty one, EAL, and the number, the series number. This says that when the communists came in rule, and they saw that noble families, rich families had big properties, like buildings like this. The whole buildings was
Theirs.
owned by them.
Yeah.
They said they are too rich and they should share their, and they confiscated their properties, so they nationalized the properties. So not a lot of people own, like privately, everything was owned by the state, and the state was given to families, assigned them apartments, and the families needed to pay rent to the state. So this is how it worked. So in this case, either they left the noble family, rich family, to have one apartment in the whole building, or they kicked them out and brought other families to live inside. But after 1990s, if you showed that you had the original papers of ownership of the building, you can fight in court to take it back.
Reclaim your building.
Reclaim the building. So some of them were reclaimed, but unfortunately for that 42 years, they were neglected completely. So that's why the foundation is not very good of a lot of these buildings. So the red sign said this building is classed seismical 1, kind of class 1 seismical risk. So at the first earthquake, this will be the first building will go down. So for if it was not restored at least once, the pillars and again the foundation, fortunately it has this problem. So even if you own privately now this building, you have to sell it at a lower price, and no bank will accept a mortgage with a building that is falling down. So you have to accept just cash. money. Also, yeah, it's city center. It's kind of very nice inside. Maybe because the structure is kind of problematic, so that's why the rent will be lower too. But you have to know again.
That if there's
the
an
risk.
earthquake, you're in a bit of trouble.
We had big earthquakes in 1977. It was 7.4 on a Richter, so it was pretty big. So again, we have 142 buildings that is class 1 seismic risk. So in case of emergency, you have to step away from the building.
It's reasonable.
This is the situation. They started to do Airbnbs too. So in some of the cases in this kind of buildings, because they're, yeah, maybe the apartment again itself is very beautiful, but you cannot do anything with the building. People don't have the money, and even though they have the money, there's a lot of red tape because a lot of them are historical monuments. So you're not allowed to demolish or change the facade. So it's very, very complicated.
You're a bit limited on what you can do.
Yeah. Seismic risk and historical monument.
Right.
It's,
But good for Airbnb tourists.
yes. So that's why again, slowly the government starts to be involved, but they can do maybe 2-3 buildings per 2 years, because it takes like 2 years, and for the 2 years they need to find other accommodation for the people living here.
Right.
So it's a bit tricky.
Wow.
That's why the new generation like myself, we start going at the outskirts of the city, where there's new apartment blocks, new residential kind of buildings. My grandparents live in the same building since 1968 in a communist apartment block, so that's why it's a bit different. But now more than 80% of the people in Romania, they own their own apartments, because after communist times everybody bought the apartments they were renting
Right away.
and some 30% of the 80% they own the second house. So estate is like works very good here nowadays to own multiple properties.
Right.
So a lot of people from outside of Romania that live in UK, Italy, Germany, they buy properties here.
In Romania.
I'll tell you a little bit about the communist times, like the education system in the communist times. Back in the days, you entered in the system pretty much when you were in kindergarten. So this will be the uniforms. Everybody had a uniform. So you were the eagle of the motherland from kindergarten to primary school. From school already, you were kind of learning the heroic acts of the communist kind of party, and then you go to, this is actually a cover of a magazine from 1972. This will be the uniforms in middle school, so you are called a pioneer, and then you had a uniform with a kind of like a scarf with a flag of Romania, a pin for the communist kind of party, and it also had a decoration. If you had a yellow string, you were actually the head of the classroom. So it gives you like a little bit of authority. It was like in a Boy Scouts, if you want to, or like in an army, you had a rank. Okay.
How did you earn it?
You were like voting. They were
by
voting.
your peers.
Democratic. So democratic vote. And then if you have a red one, you were actually in charge of 10 people. They were actually doing parades, military kind of parades, for the birthday of the leader, 23rd of August. You were in charge, like a school, for example, was in charge of the parades, and you were asked all the kids to come. And usually you were like in front, and then 9 people or 10 people were behind of you. So that's why you had the red kind of string, and the blue string was for the head of the whole school. So you have again the ranks like that. So yeah, this is also from high school. So high school, you were already communist youth. Okay, so this is how it looked like. What else people were doing? Like the students were supposed to help for the harvest. So for the potatoes and grapes, this was like a school trip. You needed to help the nation to go and kind of harvest. You were not given money or anything, but you were given the products like potatoes or grapes.
Bring back to your family.
Yeah, to your family. So my mom said it was like a school trip. Oh, we went to buses, we went to the field, we picked up things, and we came back home. So that was pretty much it. And then you have, yeah, this will be the parade. So this is how the parades kind of look like. Oh, wow. So this was the parade for 23rd of August. Pretty much what you will see even nowadays in North Korea. This is how things work. You had, yeah, the visit. So this is the military parade, and then you have the visit of Nicolae and Elena Ceaușescu. Everywhere in the newspapers and so on, you find the faces of them. And when you open a textbook in school, the first thing will be the face of Nicolae Ceaușescu.
Wow.
Okay, so it was a kind of a welcoming, always surrounded by doves and pigeons and
The North Korean model.
yeah, North Korean model. They also, if you can see, she looks very young, and him too. They photoshopped it to look everywhere. They look like they were in their like 40s, but actually they were in their 70s
Wow.
a lot of the time.
Wow.
So this is like a normal photoshopping.
Photoshop before Photoshop.
Yeah. For the girls, they needed to do like they had sewing, sorry, and then cooking. And for the men, you had like tools, like this, to know how to make a tool, and carpenter. So this was kind of a adding.
Quite gendered.
Yeah. So yeah, they did like extra curriculum kind of things. You'll go to school and work too from Monday to Saturday. So just Sunday was off. Okay, this was the day off. And after high school, the boys needed to do mandatory army service 1 year. If they were not going to university 1 year, if you're not going to university 2 years, you're going to university 1 year. It was actually an examination they did in high school, deciding if you are smart enough to go forward to university, or if not, you go to a technical college. So not everyone will go to university. They needed people in the factories and so on, so that's why. And after university, you were assigned by the state a job. So depending on your status, like connections, but also on your grade, you will be assigned a job to anywhere in Romania.
Wow.
So it mattered if you had connection or a better grade, because they will assign you a job closer to your hometown.
Yeah.
So you can choose. If not, they will send you 900
Anywhere.
kilometers. Yeah. So it was the same for lawyers, doctors. My parents got married in the second year of university, and my mom was actually from Bucharest. My dad is from Transylvania, and they actually sent them to a completely different.
To neither Bucharest nor Transylvania.
Yes. So they sent them like 400 kilometers away in a place they didn't know anyone.
Wow.
But at least they sent them together.
Yeah.
Because if they were not married, they will send them
Wow.
separate.
Wow.
So she did an apprenticeship, like engineering apprenticeship, at the train station. So for almost 3 years, they were also assigned with the job a house. It was an apartment, concrete apartment, barely kind of functional, because they didn't have heating and hot water yet. So for those times, again, my mom was telling she had to boil the water to wash her hair and body.
Wow.
And had the electrical radiator pretty much, and some of the times the electricity was off. So
Wow.
on off. So this was the time. It was just again 1986, 87, 88.
Wow.
No long time ago. Okay. So that's why my parents' generation, they didn't like so much the communist times, but they
Wow.
managed somehow to.
Yeah.
But still, my mom considers that it was more quality education in the communist times. Also more respect and fear too. So actually kids went to school and
They listened.
They listened and they respected the teachers. If you were doing something bad, again, the teacher will scold you, but also sometimes had the ruler and
Wow. Corporal
and
punishment.
yeah, and
I
if
did not get that.
they contacted your parents, it was very bad, because you had the punishment at home too.
Wow.
So
Wow.
if you were caught smoking, they will shave your head.
No.
So again, be aware. So, but it was more, practical studies like mathematics, chemistry, and so on. It
No
was,
liberal arts really.
not so much. So humanistic studies, not so much, because you were not a.
There was no point.
Yeah, there's no point. So that's why everybody was an engineer, something
Right.
practical, chemist, and so that's why. But
Yeah.
now, more and more, each year, less kids are actually finishing high school or passing the examination after high school, because the quality of the education
Which is not great.
went down.
Yeah, that's quite
now
bad.
the kids fight with the teachers, and the parents
And there's
come.
the nostalgia coming in again.
Yeah, so
right?
the parents go and argue with the
Yeah.
the teacher and so on. So I grew up in 1990s,
Yeah.
so it was more liberal, but it was the same
Still responsible. Yeah.
teachers as in the communist times. So I
Right.
caught the transition period.
Yeah.
I remember in kindergarten they still were
punishing kids
With the rulers?
not rulers, but with the stick on the
Wow.
so they were still applying that. So
Wow.
from the communist times,
Yeah.
1990s. But now
Not like
everything
our
you
schooling when we
do,
grew up. We grew up in the
every-
same time period, but a very different schooling
Yeah.
context.
every time the phone comes out and then they film everything, and
Yeah.
so now you cannot do anything without
It's a camera everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
No, but it was like a recent how do you call it, incident, scandal with a boy, teenager, and he was playing loud music or something with his phone, and the teacher came and confiscated his phone, and then he said you get it after the hours, and the boy got angry and punched the teacher.
Oh, wow.
Like touch him, like you give me now my phone, and then
Wow.
everything was filmed by another student.
Ah,
Yeah. This is the current situation.
wow.
So this is the situation nowadays, that they don't have any respect for the teachers.
Right.
And, how
Do you feel anything anymore?
Nope.
Yep. I don't feel anything.
Just one big piece of ice.
Enter the church, and the church is warm. A wheel, iron wheel. It's like representing for the Romani, because they were travelers and they had the
Constantly on the road.
yeah. So that's why if you go there, they also have like a chamber, like a concrete chamber, and you'll see some information about the Holocaust.
Was there a historic Jewish neighborhood in Bucharest?
Yes, it was. It's just forward to the left, but it changed a lot in 1982 because it was demolished to make space for the communist
Right.
apartments.
But that was the original,
Yeah, there are still left two synagogues, the big synagogue and the Choral Temple,
right.
and a museum that I know, and I think it's like a theater, a Jewish theater.
Huh.
But again, everything is behind of the concrete apartment blocks.
Oh.
So it was pretty much like Nicolae Ceaușescu thought it was, Bucharest was just like his toy.
Right.
He just put,
Do what he wants with
yeah, he took they pretty much took the map of Bucharest, and he said, okay, the palace will be here. We will make 3.5 kilometers in front of it, and surrounding it, we will make apartment blocks.
it. And he just did it.
And anything that was touching that area demolished.
Just raised it.
It was 7 square kilometers.
Wow.
They demolished. So I was telling you again, we had like a church, and this is the church, and that's the tower, and they were actually 300 kilometers. So no, yeah, 300 meters. Sorry, no kilometers.
Big city.
300 meters in that direction where the park was, and they lifted the building up. They put concrete at the base of the building. They put train tracks underneath, and with rollers and machinery they pulled away the building.
Wow.
So it was pretty crazy. They managed to move both of them here, and they constructed the apartment blocks surrounding
Wow.
it. Okay, so I do have a picture of the movement. We can go maybe inside of the church too. We can warm up. They actually managed to move 12 churches, not to demolish them, and also some apartment blocks in this style. So it was a very genius engineer that made up with this movement. I did have a picture, but my fingers are
A little frozen.
frozen. Yeah.
Who's that supposed to be on the top?
That's Saint Nicholas. So this is how they moved the church.
Wow.
So this is a moving kind of
Oh, wow. That's
church.
insane.
And then this is a moving apartment block. So with train
Wow.
trucks and rollers, like a
crazy,
train,
no?
they moved the entire
Wow.
structure without demolishing it. So this was 7,600 tons. It was very heavy, and there were 4 floors. And this actually happened in my hometown in Transylvania. and people were saying they were still inside of the building while the building was moved.
Wow.
So it was like a propaganda and everything on TV, like this is what the genius engineer can do. They can move a building with people inside. Okay, so you can just Google moving churches, moving buildings, and you can see more of this. So you need to take
Hats off, yeah.
hats off for the men. Please be quieter. You're not allowed to take pictures with people praying, selfies or flash pictures. Okay.
Yes, I know. Cameras now going off. We're entering one of the oldest buildings in Bucharest.
Well, before, there were just again simple people living in this kind of neighborhood with houses, with like a normal streets. But again, everything kind of changed in the 1980s. So after the big earthquake, Nicolae Ceaușescu wanted to again make his own kind of project here. He copied the project from what he saw in North Korea. So he wanted to have a place where he will have his office. So that's why you have
It's not
again,
a small office.
yeah, it's a small office. So he wanted the biggest administrative building in Europe at that point. It was secondary to the Pentagon in US. He wanted also to invite officials from other countries to see this grandiose kind of building. And they will have a boulevard. And surrounding the boulevards, you have the places where the Communist Party members will kind of live. So this was a project, the new civil center project. So the boulevard was actually a copy of Champs-Élysées in Paris. So it's 3.5 kilometers. And especially again, when they come to from other countries, they were supposed to see that everything is the same. So that's why at the boulevard you have the apartment blocks. Behind the boulevard, you'll find the former neighborhoods of the city. So it's just a facade. It's a concrete curtain, we want to say. So you have one row, and behind you have again the churches and the houses and everything that was before. So for this, they had to demolish 7 square kilometers of the heritage of the city. So this is the area they had to demolish, and more than 30,000 people were evacuated from here, and they were given again apartments at the edge of the city, not in the city center. We actually have a name for this demolishment. If you Google Ceaușescu, from Ceaușescu, the name of the leader in Hiroshima, this is the term of the massive demolishments of the heritage of the city. So it was like a nuclear attack was upon the city, and everything was zero. Okay. Yeah, Nicolae Ceaușescu actually didn't have a chance to accomplish his dream to go to the balcony and wave to the thousands of people, because in 1989 when he died, it was the building and the project was just 70% finished. So the project was never finished. This was never the Communist Party headquarters, his office. Yeah, he was very paranoid, so he did a lot of things underground too. So it's iceberg building, so 84 meters are above the building and 92 meters are underground. So much more is underground. And also he made 2 nuclear bunkers, so in case of emergency he and his wife will go downstairs. People also said that he had secret routes, secret tunnels that connect to other institutions. Again, he was paranoid that people will gas him and kill him and so on. But yeah, it was very ironical that he was killed by his own people, not from foreign kind of...
Right, after the helicopter abandoned him.
Yes.
Yeah.
So people were wondering what to do with the building. It was a massive megalomaniacal project. It was like almost 30% of the GDP of the country was poured here.
That's insane.
And people were starving in the 1980s while he was pouring the resources of Romania here. The thing was, we had the materials, and it was more expensive to demolish the building to continue it, and we decided to continue it. It's the heaviest building in the world according to the materials. It was used a lot of tons of stone, marble, concrete. So that's why it makes it the heaviest building in the world. It's 4.1 million tons. So this is how we are proud. Is 99% of it used by Romanian materials. But you will have to think, was it worth it? The starving of population for 10 years for this building itself. And it's still a very much of a financial burden for us, because we still pay a lot of money for maintaining it.
Of course.
So it has 1,100 rooms. It's not fully functional. It has the parliament on the chamber of deputies to the right, and to the left side of the building we have the Senate. We also have an art museum inside, the Constitutional Court, but a lot of it is not used. For this only, we pay per month 200,000 euros for electricity bill only.
Wow.
Okay, so imagine that.
Wow.
So if you want to, you can go and visit. In 1 hour guided tour, you'll see maybe 5% of the building. So this is how huge it is.
Crazy.
But maybe you can help us by your ticket will help us
Offset the
supporting
200,000 euros.
it. So yeah, some people say it's the nicest building in town. Some people say it's the ugliest building in town. The same with the communist times.
Yeah.
Some agree, some disagree. But
Wow.
now we are in this situation. Okay. So thank you very much. This will be the end of my
Thank you,
tour.
Mara.
So
Thank you so
would
much.
you like
Thank
to
you,
take-
Mara. You were a great tour guide.
Thank you.
If you come to Bucharest, take a tour with Mara. 100%. You can find her online. I'll share the links.
So if you want to